What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk about SoFi. I want to talk on what is happening today and some things to keep in mind leading up to the earnings, which is only one trading day away. So I'm going to go through all that, especially some updated data points very relevant to a lot of investors, and tie it all together with some technical analysis at the end. But before getting to any of that, all I ask, smash the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With all that, let's get right to it. So looking at the intraday chart, it is a very much amazing day, especially considering as well the major indexes are very much red in fear of Russia and that whole tension that still appears to be escalating. But regardless of all that, a lot of good growth stocks are bouncing back to what more realistic normals should be. And even in SoFi's case, I do strongly feel, given the circumstances of where we are still well below the intrinsic value. I'm going to explain why as well. And I hopefully do feel that after and post earnings, that will automatically correct and go back to what it realistically should be. So with that, I'm just going to go through some data points very relevant to a lot of investors. So first and foremost, just looking at the live ticker to my left, currently up roughly about 7%, so a very good day. 55.7 million shares being traded, whereas average is 39. And that's one thing with SoFi that's very interesting. Hopefully it will continue post earnings as well, but definitely has a lot of volume. So that is very good at the end of the day. And block volume, 11.2 million shares being purchased by institutions and hedge funds today alone. So that is one very good fact that I really do like about SoFi, and that it's been picking up more and more as institutions have been getting in. So that's definitely one good thing. And just transitioning and keeping in line with institutions and hedge funds, just want to go through the latest round of 13Fs that came down the pipeline. So it is ETF season right now. So there's a lot of ETFs showing their positions, some of which are outright shorting SoFi. I'm going to touch on that as well in the video. But looking at this, there is still a lot of institutions and hedge funds and ETFs and so forth that are getting in and doubling down. So there is a lot of institutions that really do strongly feel and really like SoFi. And one thing I do want to bring up that I find very interesting, yes, it is very heavily shorted. Again, I'm going to touch on that. But when you come down to a lot of these institutions and hedge funds, a lot of their averages in the high teens. And I've been bringing this up in a lot of videos because that does represent a lot of different things. The way I see that is technically a lot of these institutions and hedge funds found value, significant value, enough so to actually increase or double down on SoFi at these levels. So there was a very good and strong value at these levels. And so imagine what is happening at this stage right now. This is why a lot of institutions and hedge funds are buying so much on a daily basis, because we are at a significant discount. So I really do like seeing that. And at the end of the day, when all these 13Fs were submitted, that is only for Q4 2021. I keep saying this as well, and hopefully that does stick to a lot of people. Shows that we have a big value and a big discount because all of these institutions and hedge funds found value at these levels when it wasn't even technically a chartered bank. So that is absolutely mind-boggling to think that a lot of institutions found value at these levels and where we actually are. So that is a big deal. And again, I do anticipate that post earnings, we should get back to the more realistic value, which should be, given all the risks that is out there in the market, should be around $16 to $17. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence. But at the end of the day, I do anticipate that it's their guidance from their earnings that is going to be a very big deal. And in case you do not know, earnings is on March the 1st, 2022 after market close. So that is a very big deal. So technically, if the institutional presence wasn't enough for you, which again, keeping in line with that, just want to bring this up. So this is updated information as of Q4 2021. Technically, you can see right here, hedge funds did purchase 3.5 million call options, which is pretty stagnant from the quarter prior, which a total of all 13F filers purchased 27.5 million call options. So how I see that again mirrors exactly what is happening here. There is a huge upside potential that a lot of institutions find a significant value when it comes down to SoFi. So take that how you see that. But with that, just want to transition and talk on some updated data points, one of which is short interest. So right now, short interest is 1723, down roughly about 9% or 8% from 1 week prior. And I did bring this up and I posted this on Twitter. They did close out roughly about 14% of their position from Friday. So Friday was a very big day for shorts closing out the positions. Utilization valuation, despite all that, is still at 100%, and day by day change, it does look like they're doubling down. So they is actually increasing 4.16%, which works out to be 9.37 million shares being additionally shorted. So they are very hesitant about the upside that is happening with SoFi right now. And looking at options activity on SoFi has been very hot. So a total of $2.73 million worth of options being done today, with 72% of them being positive. So Friday was 83% positive, and overall all last week was 68% positive. So that does keep in line with exactly why there's a lot of institutions and everyone finds a lot of value when it comes down to SoFi, and you can tell that based on the options activity. Shorts, on the other hand, they are very hesitant about it, and you can see that again by them doubling down. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. There's mixed feelings on what is going to come from the earnings, but regardless, there is one thing that I really do like that did come out a couple days ago, more so I think tail end of last week, and that particular thing is exactly right here. So an analyst did actually upgrade their earnings per share. So typically, in case you do not know what happens with earnings, typically a lot of investors look for three main points: earnings per share, revenue, and future guidance. So when there is analyst or forecast that is done, that is set more for the benchmark. But when typically an analyst does upgrade their expectations for SoFi, that is a very big deal. So technically on the February 25th, there was an analyst that did upgrade their earnings per share. So again, anticipating that their earnings is going to do a lot of good things. So tentatively, it was negative 20 cents for the earnings per share, and it got bumped up to negative 16 cents per share. So at the end of the day, that was a big deal. I know technically it only shows and is roughly about 4 cents, but that 4 cents, when it works out to as far as overall on the balance sheet, that is a very big deal. So take that how you see that. I do strongly feel that this right before the earnings is a very big deal. And with that, I just want to cap it off with some technical analysis. So right now, the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. And momentum, you can see number of buyers have been going up nice and gradually, naturally, which I really do like. Stochastic, there is a little bit of a deviation, so black line above the red showing a bullish sentiment, and I have been saying that over the last couple of videos as well. And RSI is currently at 46. Looking on the actual chart, still lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, but we are having a very much big day. We did test the central Bollinger Band, so trying to transition from the lower to the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band. Unable to do that today, so most likely that will translate for us to do that tomorrow though, especially right before the earnings. I do anticipate it being a very volatile day, but a very volatile green day. So at the end of the day, that's how I see that. But overall, given all the circumstances, especially what I've been saying, I do anticipate the good technical analysis, the actual huge amount of institutional ownership, and especially the fact that we're trading at a significant discount. I do feel that all of that will factor into the earnings. And once the earnings numbers do come out, and also the more so the future guidance, when all of that is positive, as how I feel it will be, this will correct to where it should be, at least $17 plus. There's a lot of upside, and factoring in as well that SoFi is at a discount. With all that said, let me know your thoughts on SoFi in the comments below. If you haven't already, smash your thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Also, don't forget to join my Discord, link in the description below. It's a good place to be, a lot of good chat, and with all that said, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on SoFi.